What is up, everybody? I am Mason from the Mockbuster YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about the 25 Actor Challenge. Now, this is coming from HUCK'S Pop Culture Cafe. He did do a previous challenge, the Alphabet Challenge, the A to Z movie challenge, but I was a bit late to the party, so I thought, I want to keep it up to date, and he reissued another challenge, and that was the Actor Challenge. You basically think of 25 actors, you pick 25 movies. No, you pick one movie per 25 actors, and it doesn't have to be the best movie. They don't have to star in it. They just have to feature in it. And the catch is that they're also going to be an actresses challenge as well as a director's challenge. So I had to pick, and you can't cross titles. So if there was a movie that I wanted to choose, but it was also a really good female performance in it, I can't choose it. I have to say for the female actress, because I want to prioritize that as well, because I want to have equal, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's get into this. These are the 25 actor movie challenge. Starting off with Keanu Reeves in John Wick. This really reinvigorated his career. I mean, a lot of people prior, if you watch SNL skits, everyone portrays Keanu Reeves as this dumb Cali guy from movies such as Bill and Ted. Oh yeah, right, Keanu. And this really reinvigorated his status in pop culture. He's always been a really big actor, but he was never really taken serious for his actual acting and his skill, because Keanu Reeves is a very fantastic physical actor. Just watch The Matrix and you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I'm gonna say John Wick, because I'm saving The Matrix for obvious reasons, so I chose John Wick instead. So boom, Keanu Reeves. Next, we're gonna talk about a Canadian icon, and that is Mike Myers in Wayne's World. Wayne's World, party time, excellent. One of the funniest comedies ever made. I fucking love this movie. A killer soundtrack, just about a bunch of rockers. I am a rocker, so I just love this movie, and I know so many guys like this, so it's a funny movie. Yeah, I'm choosing the first one. I like the second one too, but just the first one is a fantastic movie. I love this movie. A lot of pop culture references like things like The Graduate and a lot of other movies. So if you're a movie fan and you're a music fan, the Wayne's World series should be your best bet. So Mike Myers in Wayne's World. Now we're gonna be talking about a very underrated Johnny Depp film that I don't think anyone really talks about nowadays, and that is Donnie Brasco. Fantastic movie about a cop going into the mob undercover and then kind of being tantalized by the lifestyle. Absolutely fantastic movie, and Al Pacino to boot is a fantastic in this too. So Johnny Depp and Donnie Brasco. Now I can guarantee you 100% no one's going to talk about this actor because he's a Bollywood actor, and that is Shahrukh Khan. He's basically like the, the Indian Rock. Like if you think of The Rock and his status in the North America, Shahrukh Khan is basically the Rock of India. And this may not be his best movie. It's a fun movie. It's a fun comedy action movie. Really silly, over-the-top action, but it's an extremely enjoyable film. You don't take it seriously, and it's a fun movie. So Shahrukh Khan in Dabangg. Next, we'll be talking about Hugh Jackman, and that is the X-Men series, or his role as Wolverine. Can you name another actor who is able to portray the same superhero for over a decade? I don't think so. And if they do, it's probably within the X-Men series, because these are such fantastic comic book films. I absolutely love these. Even the third one I really like, even though it gets a lot of shit for it. It had a lot of really good social commentary that I actually really enjoyed. But yeah, Hugh Jackman in there, because there probably is a lot better Hugh Jackman performances and better Hugh Jackman movies, but I just love X-Men. It has a special place in my heart, and he's such a charismatic, and he's perfect for the Wolverine role. That's why they've had him somewhat from the year 2000 to 2017, and they'll probably make another. Who knows? Even though I don't think it's most likely, but you never know. You never know. In a day and age of multiverses, you never know. Next, we're going to be talking about Colin Firth, and that is in Kingsman, the Secret Service. Now, I know a lot of people really like the King's Speech and all that kind of stuff, but this really blew my expectations when talking about Colin Firth. I knew Colin Firth from chick flicks, from Bridget Jones's Diary and Mamma Mia and those type of films, but when I found out that he was in action comedy, I never took it seriously until I sat down to watch this movie, and he's fantastic in this. He's such a badass in the film, and it's fantastic. I love this movie. If you haven't seen The Kingsman, it's a funny kind of James Bondy espionage type film. and it's a fantastic, really, really good action scenes, especially that church scene. Oh God, and the 4K is really good too. So Colin Firth in Kingsman's Secret Service. All right, next we're going to be talking about Kirk Douglas and possibly the greatest war film ever made. You probably already know what it is, and that is Paths of Glory. Such a fantastic movie, one of my favorite Kubrick films as well, but I have a film that I love more than this from Kubrick, so that's why I didn't choose that. But yeah, Kirk Douglas is fantastic in this. The grand scale of the battle scenes, as well, like trench warfare, is intense, and then just the scenes where just, you know, generals are talking are just fantastic. I highly recommend this movie if you haven't seen it. Kirk Douglas in Paths of Glory. Now from Kirk Douglas, we're going to be talking about Michael Douglas in The Game, David Fincher's The Game. Fantastic movie, a really good first watch. I really need to give this a second watch because I wonder how it holds up on a second watch. But on a first watch, this is a fantastic movie. There's so much character development within Michael Douglas's character, and he's such a good actor in this that you can't go wrong. Sean Penn is in it too, so fantastic. The Game. Now, there was another Matt Damon movie that I wanted to talk about, but that would be more on the director side because I like that director as well. But I'm going to be talking about this. Matt Damon in The Martian. Fantastic. He's able to, you know, grip and, you know, keep you interested within a 2+ hour movie of just mainly one actor, and it's a fantastic movie. I highly recommend it. Ridley Scott back at doing what he does best, you know, making, you know, really good character, you know, isolation movies, you know. And I just love this movie. Even I like Ridley Scott. You know, sometimes he falls off the wagon when it comes to certain movies, but this was definitely a step in the right direction. Next, we're gonna be talking about an actor that's been getting a new renaissance when it comes to public affair, and that is Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. Specifically Mummy 1, but I'll take Mummy 2 any day as well. Not as good as Mummy 1, but he's such a fantastic actor, so charismatic and funny. The OG. He's like the 90s Ryan Reynolds, but way better in my opinion. But yeah, so The Mummy, Brendan Fraser, fantastic movies. One of the best Universal remakes when it comes to the modern day, you know, post 1990 whatever. Because name another Universal remake, monster remake that's been good. I can't. But besides The Mummy, you know, different spin on the story, but it's still a very enjoyable film. And so yeah, Brendan Fraser. Next, we're gonna be talking about Macaulay Culkin. You probably already know what it is, and that is Home Alone. I love Macaulay Culkin. I would have chosen another movie, but I don't have it in my collection. But Home Alone is just a classic Chris Columbus movie. This really made Hollywood have a higher expectation on child actors, because not only is Macaulay Culkin a cute little kid, but he's also a fantastic actor in this. And, you know, that kind of skewed Hollywood's perception on child actors, so now they're only hiring cute kids instead of people who actually can act, and it's very bad. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Macaulay Culkin, one of the really good child actor. He's able to play both a conniving little sniveling little munchkin, but also a cute kid. You know, this has a lot of heart to it. He delivers his lines really good, and he's like 10 years old at this point. You know, I couldn't even imagine what I was doing when I was 10 years old, let alone, you know, in Hollywood making multi-million-dollar movies. So yeah, Macaulay Culkin. Next, there was so many Jack Nicholson performances that I wanted to choose from, but I know this one is one of his most iconic, one of his most endearing, and, you know, one of my earliest, you know, I think this is my first ever Jack Nicholson movie that I watched, and that is Batman, 1989's Batman. Fantastic. You know, he's such a good Joker in this that people still debate on whether he's the best or Heath Ledger. So that's how you know how good of a performance he gives. You know, he's allowed to let his reins go off. He can go off the wall, batshit insane, but he's also super fucking scary. Like, if you've seen that scene when he's watching the newsreel and he's just like staring at the TV like and you're like, oh my god, this guy's fucking maniac. So he's able to make you laugh, cry, and he's one of the best Jokers out there. Definitely not contender for #1. So Jack Nicholson in Batman. Next, we're going to be talking about Andy Serkis, one of the icons in motion capture acting. I know a lot of people kind of negate the fact that motion capture is only just animation, but a lot of it comes from the performance and Andy Serkis is just absolutely fantastic in this. Without saying really much, you can really tell his performance comes through exceptionally in this performance. One of my favorite movies of all time, War of the Planet of the Apes, fantastic movie. I can't recommend this enough. It's so emotional. It's filmed really well. It looks great, and it's just the performances, again, without very much dialogue. All the acting comes from facial features, from subtle movements of like shoulders. If someone's tense, they're tense, but if they relax, they kind of drop their shoulders and stuff like that. And you can really tell with these performances. So Andy Serkis in War of the Planet of the Apes. Now I know these are weird recommendations. Probably some of these actors you probably wouldn't have guessed. But next we're going to be talking about Anthony Quinn in the only time when brown face is allowed, and that is The Message. Fantastic epic movie made by the producer of Halloween, Mustafa Akkad. This was made on a $10 million budget, and it looks like a freaking $100 million budget. Now granted, it was the 70s, so $10 million is probably the same equivalent. But it's able to use all of its budget. It's such a large, epic, grand scale movie that I highly recommend it. No one really talks about this movie because it is, again, it's a bit long, not too long, but it also deals with things like Islam and the Middle East and stuff like that. So I know that kind of turns people off. But Anthony Quinn in The Message, my favorite Anthony Quinn performance was in the HBO movie, the Gotti movie, the John Gotti movie. But since I don't have that physically, I decided to go with The Message. Next is a Tom Cruise movie. I could have chosen Mission Impossible, but this was a kind of turn for his type of roles, and that is Collateral. Wow, Tom Cruise can play one hell of a heel, of a bad guy, and he's just fantastic. He's so brooding and not angsty, but like he's so fantastic in this. Again, he doesn't say much in this, but just his demeanor is so threatening that you really believe that this guy could easily shoot you in the face if he deems necessary. And it's a little scary kind of, but badass and that kind of sad way too. So like you feel like if this character had a different route in life, he probably would have been like a successful, like he would have had a nice life instead of what happened to him. So Collateral, Tom Cruise. Next, we'll be talking about Jake Gyllenhaal. Again, my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie is Brokeback Mountain, but this is also really, really high up there, and that is Nightcrawler. I love this movie. The delveness into insanity and the way that Jake Gyllenhaal is able to portray this type of, like, he's insane. Like, he's clearly a sociopath, but the way he's able to act and the way he's able to draw you in is like, he kind of like manipulates you in the movie itself to thinking that, yeah, he's doing the right thing. This is his livelihood. If he didn't do what he was doing, he'd probably be on the streets. He'd probably be stealing from someone or doing something. Nightcrawler, I want a 4K of this because this is a fantastic movie. It's shot really well. And I just love Nightcrawler. Now we're going to talk about some Gene Wilder. I was going to talk about Young Frankenstein, but I actually really, really love this movie. Of course, it's everyone's favorite, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. One of my biggest comfort films. Whenever I'm sad, depressed, lonely, I just pop on Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory and it makes me feel warm inside. It reminds me of being a child and watching this on TV, and I'm just able to sit down for 2 hours and just enjoy the really, really warm, heartfelt story. A lot of really good messages. It's a very emotional film for me, at least. And it's just, the music is fantastic. One of the best musicals ever made. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Gene Wilder is just absolutely fantastic in this. Next, we're going to be talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that is The Terminator. Now, I know a lot of people would have said Terminator 2, Predator, something like that, but I really liked The Terminator. This is one of his early films. He it fits his role perfectly. It fits, he has a very thick Austrian accent. And, and he wasn't the greatest actor at that time. So what James Cameron was able to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he was this big behemoth of a man, and even though he wasn't a grizzled actor, he was able to give a really solid performance when it comes to being a robot, a killing machine, whatever you want to call the Terminator. So yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, my favorite performance in The Terminator. Next is Edward Norton in American History X. It's a good performance when you're able to, you know, feel something for a white supremacist and a Nazi, neo-Nazi. Just the performance in this is absolutely fantastic, even from Edward Furlong. But Edward Norton is absolutely amazing, and it's just the character development from where he starts off to where he ends, and just the tragedy of it is just fantastic. So Edward Norton in American History X. Then Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, one of the greatest modern day action films. Absolutely fantastic, really good writing, really good performances by Daniel Craig and Ava Green. Even the villain played by Mads Mikkelsen was fantastic in this. But yeah, Daniel Craig, I only knew at this point Daniel Craig from Layer Cake, and he was kind of like a wussy type character, kind of like the, oh, I'll commit crime, but I don't want the repercussions, and oh, ooh. But then when you watch fucking Casino Royale, he's a fucking badass in this film, and he's not, and it's not like one of those like cheesy James Bond film. Like, this is a real performance. This is like a really good dramatic action movie. So Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. It was either this or A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, but obviously I'm saving that for another video. And then my favorite Stallone film is First Blood. I absolutely love this movie. Better than Rocky 1? I don't know, but I just, his performance in this really sticks out to me because, you know, it's delving into something like, because when you think of Rambo, you automatically think of this like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna kill you, hey, I'm a terrorist, and like just killing people. But this is not what, you know, when you look at Hot Shots, when you look at UHF, and you see the portrayal of the Rambo character, and everyone just, she's just shooting, is all muscled up. This is the absolute opposite of it. Fantastic movie, a lot of heart and a lot of just, it's a very emotional film. If you've seen that ending scene where he just breaks down from all just the fucking bullshit that he's received, you know, from being extremely traumatized in Vietnam to being, you know, disassociated and treated like garbage coming home. It's just a fantastic movie, and I also made a custom slipcover for it, so that's also why I picked this movie, because I put a lot of effort into making this slipcover. So that's also a thing. Then we're gonna be talking about John Krasinski in A Quiet Place. When I first heard that John Krasinski was directing and starring in a horror film, I was like, what the fuck? Really? The guy from The Office? But dude, this really shut me the fuck up, because this is a fantastic movie. I thought this was gonna be some bullshit Bird Box ripoff for it, because I hated Bird Box. And I thought, oh great, you know, you can't see now in this, you can't speak. Oh great. But this was absolutely fantastic. Really good suspense, taking it back to kind of like Hitchcockian suspense, really. But I just love A Quiet Place. And John Krasinski really blew me away from how well this movie was. He even directed it too, so fantastic movie, A Quiet Place. Next we're talking about Roy Scheider in Jaws. Fantastic, I don't know what else to say. Roy Scheider is that every guy that you can really relate to. He has a family, and but he's really good in this. You know, performances are great, and Jaws is one of my favorite movies of all time, so I had to go with Jaws for Roy Scheider. Now we're going to be talking about John Hurt and one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen in my life, and that is The Elephant Man, the Studio Canal 4K Blu-ray. Fantastic. I absolutely love this movie, and John Hurt is just, he really portrays this absolutely depressing, tragic tale of just a guy trying to be a person, you know, but everyone treats him like a beast because he was born differently. And you know, it's a fantastic movie. When he breaks down, he's like, I am not an animal. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that performance. I absolutely love it. Elephant Man, highly recommended. One of my favorite, I think David Lynch directed this too. One of my favorite David Lynch films too, so The Elephant Man. And then the last film, in the same vein of John Krasinski, Bob Odenkirk in Nobody. You know, Bob Odenkirk, famous for his stand-up comedy, and also being Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad. And when you look at him, you know, being Saul Goodman with the shitty toupee, the balding hair, and all that stuff, you think, really? This is going to be our main action hero? But instead, I kind of got that, you know, Michael Keaton as Batman effect, where he really, you know, showed his chops, and he's such a badass. He's also a really good physical actor. Like, he did a few of his, like the fight scenes and stuff are fantastic. And, you know, it's choreographed well, and it's a really good performance, and it really kind of lulls you, and it's perfect for his character. It kind of lulls you when you think this guy is like your normal Joe Schmo everyday man, and you realize, no, he's actually a fucking badass. So last pick, Bob Odenkirk in Nobody. So those were my 25 actors that I chose. Thank you, Huck, for issuing this challenge and issuing more video ideas for us content creators, us blue tubers, so we don't have to keep going outside and buying and spending money on Blu-rays and stuff like that. We just sit down at home, peruse through our collections, and just talk about movies, because at the end of the day, that's what we all love, just to talk about movies. So that was it, 25 actors. I have been Mitch from the MockBus YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. Please stay safe and God bless. Peace, cheers, long live physical media. See you guys. A booyakasha.